Alright, this is Jason with the Primal Outdoors channel, and today we're going to be talking about the VIAir 400p air compressor. Alright, so I've had this air compressor now for I think a little bit over a month, and I've been using it to basically air down my tires once I hit the dirt roads and stuff like that, just basically to help smooth out my ride a little bit. And I've been taking my tires, which I typically run around 60 pounds, down to typically 40 pounds just to run around. But we've been up in Hell's Canyon now for a week, and we had some difficulties getting in here because of snow drifts and mud. So I actually have them aired down to around 35 pounds right now, which really helped out in giving us the extra traction we needed to help get us through some of the snow drifts. Plus, like I said, it's pretty muddy, so just driving around all week, it's just helped with traction issues and comfort issues. But one of the things about these little air compressors is I was always concerned, I always wanted one, but was concerned at how long it would take actually to air up my tires with my truck back up to 60 pounds. And I've been really pleased with this compressor. It doesn't take very long at all. And basically what you get with the compressor is you get this bag, and then you have it opens up and you get a really long air hose, and this hose easily reaches from the front of my truck all the way to the back. And I've got a Ford F-250 long box extended cab, so I have no problem reaching the back of the truck. On the end of the hose you have a pressure gauge, and then you also have your connection, but this connection also works as a deflator, so you can put it onto your tire and you give it a little twist here at the connection and it will deflate your tire as well. So that's kind of a handy feature. The compressor itself is inside the main bag, and it's a pretty good size compressor. Comes with 2 alligator clips that you can just clip onto your main battery of your truck, and then basically an on and off switch, and that's all there is to it. It has a quick disconnect on the back for the hose, which makes putting the hose on easy. But what I thought we'd do today is just, since you guys have kind of seen me use this compressor, you haven't really seen me use the compressor yet, you've seen me deflate my tires in a few of my videos, but I thought what we'd do is just do a little time test to see how long it's going to take to get one of my tires here from 35 pounds, 35 PSI back up to a little over 60 PSI, which is where I want to typically run them at. So I'm going to get this thing hooked up, and then we'll get started. All right, so I hope you guys can hear me all right. I do have the truck running because they do recommend running the vehicle when you are running the compressor. But I've got a timer set here on my phone, and I'll set a timer on the screen for you guys. And right now we're setting at about 35 pounds or 35 pounds of pressure, and I want to get this thing up to a little bit over 60. So let's turn on the air compressor and see how she does. All right, so now she's just a little over 60 pounds, or right about 60 pounds at this point. All right, so I just checked the pressure with a regular air pressure gauge just to make sure that how accurate the gauge is on the air compressor, and it does say that it is perfectly just maybe 60, 61 PSI, so pretty good. So I pretty much just go by this gauge most of the time when I'm airing up, and it seems to work just fine for me. But anyhow, this air compressor, like I said, it's been working well for me. I'm really happy with it. If you're not familiar with these types of little air compressors, one thing you should be aware of, they do get very hot, so you only want to grab them by the handle and touch the on and off switch. Don't touch anywhere around the motor for a little bit after you've used it, because it is extremely hot. This is self-lubricating, so you don't have to lubricate it or do anything like that, any type of maintenance. on it as far as that is concerned. It does have a little air filter at the front that you can change out every so often, which is a good idea. But other than that, it's a pretty maintenance-free little compressor, and it seems to work. Like I said, it's been working for me really well. And it's just kind of a nice thing too to have in the vehicle for peace of mind, to be able to air up the tires or something like that. If maybe you got a nail and you just needed to kind of keep putting some air in. But like I said, for the most part, I'm really enjoying the fact that once I hit the dirt roads, I can take a little air out of the tires and just take a little bit of that bounce out of the ride. Plus, like on this trip, I just happen to have a road shower system, and it requires air to pressurize it for pressurizing the water, and so it was just handy to be able to use that for that as well. But anyways, if you guys have any comments or questions on this, please leave those down below. If you enjoyed this video or found it useful, please give it a like, and I'll see you guys again outside.